podcast is I lost my mind, my gym partners.
Gay, totally gay.
Is everyone ready?
We're rolling.
Oh, we're recording already. Who's doing the intro?
Oh, shit.
I'll do the intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the We Talk About Our Cartoon Boyfriends podcast.
But wait.
And collabing with my gym partners, a podcast. My name is Casual Rad, and I'm doing the intro today. Oh, I used all my energy for that. My cartoon boyfriend is Lord Freezer.
Lord Freezer?
Yeah, who are the rest of you guys? Who the hell are you guys?
Well, we're guests from My Gym Partners, a podcast. I'm Rene. My current cartoon boyfriend is Bruce Banner from the Hulk.
Woo! Frick yes.
Hello, I am Gert, also from Monkey Show, and my cartoon boyfriend from video game is holy shit. There's too many. Girlfriend, Midna. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty thick.
My name's Lucy, and I am also a slave on the Monkey Show. And my cartoon boyfriend is Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. I love that guy.
He's pretty cute.
So cute.
Frick yes.
All right, who's the rest of the normal people?
Yeah.
Well, these normal other people.
Who else is here?
Hey, what the heck?
Wink.
Hey,
My
okay. Oh, okay.
my cartoon boyfriend of the day or this recording is the 2 videos in the Fesh Pints of Blair series. The first one and then part 2, Uncle Phil Yiffs in Heaven. Those 2 collectively into one being is my cartoon boyfriend.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Split. I like that one.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate my cartoon boyfriend.
Thank you. So
Okay.
should
Bam.
Bimbo?
Hi, it's me, Bimbo, and my cartoon boyfriend of the week is Okay, but actually, my 4 cartoon boyfriends of the week are Dark Wraith from Dark Souls, Male Wireframe from Melee, Joe
that's nice.
Dashi from Shinobi, and Omegamon from Digimon.
Oh shit! Wait,
Those are good. Those are really good.
Thank you.
My previous
I didn't know we
Funny
could list
thing-
so many.
Oh, we
Fuck
can't. I just
break the
cheated.
Fuck that. I have my proper one. The other
Oh.
one was just a stupid joke, but now that you're like, oh, a video game, I'm like, oh shit, I can actually do this. My video game cartoon boyfriend, whatever the fuck, is Mikolash from Bloodborne.
Oh my god.
Stupid cage head motherfucker. Stupid idiot.
Ah,
I love
cars. Or some say cars.
Speaking of freaking video game boyfriends, I'm Harrison. This is my best friend Parker, and my cartoon boyfriend of the week is from the Flash game Fancy Pants. I think he's really fucking hot.
That guy. He has the pants.
Now,
Wait, Parker, what about you?
Mine is Daggett from the Angry Beavers.
our usual bullshit.
Thank you for having us.
My cartoon boyfriend is actually the Line from Line Rider.
That's not fair.
Idiot, there's multiple lines.
Well, yes. Thank you for coming on our show, Rene, Lucy, and Gert. Would you mind telling our viewers a little bit about what y'all do on your show?
Of course, we would love to. So our show is very simple in the fact that all we do, very, very laborious, is we watch episodes of My Gym Partners a Monkey, and then like kind of weekly we talk about the 2 or so episodes we watched, and we go through like a summary of them, and then just talk about our deep feelings.
Yeah, we talk about my gym partner's a monkey, and sometimes we don't on the podcast for very long extended periods of time. We
Well, it
just
depends
don't,
on the
but
episode because some of these episodes are genuinely pretty funny, and then some of them are such stinkers that it's just impossible to spend because we try and keep it at about like 25 minutes per episode. Like,
Yeah.
kind of get like 50 minutes of talking about the episodes, and then 10 minutes for our comments and fan art that we have.
Now
And so,
for us, we just go on for like an hour and just do nothing worthwhile. We
Yeah,
do nothing
If
worthwhile.
you're exhausted, oh, sorry.
What were you saying, Ben?
If you're exhausted at a point in time, I guess you can just believe.
If you don't want to do this stupid podcast anymore, just go.
like I'm really tired, and I think the podcast only needs half of me. So 30 minutes in, zoop.
Well,
That's the quietest this podcast
Super Meat
has ever
Boy.
We have to be respectful of each other because we're just like now doing this, and it's just going to have a lot of radio silence.
No, believe us, this
Okay.
podcast does not have any radio
oh,
silence.
no.
No one
Well,
shut
there's
the
radio-
fuck up.
ask us anything about the podcast, about my gym partner's a monkey, how we started it, whatever. We got lots of information. If you want to know everything about Jake Spider Monkey, like we know a lot of about Jake Spider
Okay,
Monkey.
so
We're
Why?
experts
I
here.
have.
Which one is the gay one?
A lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
That's the answer I like to hear.
Isn't like the gorilla like a very much gay one?
Well, you're gonna have to ask Rene about that because me and at least I can't speak for Gert, but I hate Windsor a lot.
like when I look at Windsor,
I love
feel
Windsor.
like I feel neutralness. Like I like him as like a side character. I feel as if he's like maybe the strongest of all of them except for Slips. But
Yeah, well,
No.
it's just like when Windsor talks for too long, I just kind of want to like tell
He's
him
like,
to shut up.
we live in a dark world full of
Now, when it
full
comes
of
to
disease.
basically my gym partner is Monkey Show, I have very few spotty memories of it. What I do remember of it is that the school, I liked the way that the school was designed, how it had like all these like tubes and stuff with water for like fish students. And
Yeah.
I also thought that one, the giraffe girl was cute, and two, the gazelle nurse was pretty.
Yeah,
Nurse
well,
Gazelle doesn't.
Nurse Gazelle's great, but she
She
doesn't show up a lot.
When was the last time we like saw her? Is like
Was it the
that-
book drive? Maybe no. Was she in that one? I feel like it was a
There
very.
was another one after that one, I'm pretty sure.
like
that
I
she
feel
was-
like the only episode where she actually had like a role is like an important like I'm gonna get you role was the one where they were giving booster shots.
That's the
to
first
people.
episode. That's literally the first
Yeah, the-
episode.
Yeah, I feel like she hasn't showed up since then.
Well,
No,
the funny
that's
thing.
it. in the
with
bubble
Nurse
episode one time.
Gazelle.
That's right.
Now, important thing did she contribute to either A, my gay awakening, or two, my furry awakening?
Well, maybe a little bit of A, a little
Probably
bit of B.
Some
Yeah.
say yes,
we
both.
we got a lot of people, and there's like even before our podcast, a lot of people just like admit to my gym partner's a monkey being their gay, furry, what have you awakening.
Now, I don't think
That's very
it
interesting.
was that it was her that made me feel like, oh no, I like women. I think the big thing with it, and I know a lot of Woolawa share this experience of Gillian Anderson in X-Files, of that being their first like, oh shit.
Yeah, the funny thing about my gym partner's a monkey that we've like kind of discovered, and we knew it ourselves when we started it because a lot of people watch this show. Like we make jokes
Yeah.
about how it's kind of bad, but like a lot of people had this show at least running in the background of their childhood, and it's
Oh yeah.
interesting because when most people, the average like normie, will like think about my gym partner's a monkey, they will remember very specific like moments in an otherwise pretty big show, like just very, very specific moments. Like, for example, we had an episode that everyone was looking forward for us to review, and they kept referring to it as the asbestos episode. And I don't know if you remember, it's it's Jake Spider Monkey, and he looks to be eating popcorn, but it's actually asbestos that he scrapes from the ceiling. And I guess it's such a like visceral image to a lot of people that when they see that, it sticks in their brain. And even us were like, oh yeah, I remember that, the asbestos episode. That gag is about not even like a minute of the episode, and the entire rest of the episode is an entirely different like plot and other whatever. It's just really funny how
It's literally an excuse to get them out of the school. Is what
I remember
it is.
only one thing from my monkey show, and all I remember is Jake Spider Monkey's ass from those trailers.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
they did
yeah,
advertise
no,
that all the time.
My Monkey Academia.
We've already made that joke on the.
Another two things I remember from that show. Principal Pixie Frog I love to design because it was just this little frog man. And then the fucking shark bully, I hated him because he looked really bad and he had like gross like teen facial hair.
I hate that about him. Like
his name's Bull Sharkowski, by the way.
Bull Sharkowski.
Sorry, we know a lot about the characters.
Bull Sharkowski, that's right. He's
Bull
like,
Sharkowski.
Get in my office.
So, I know y'all have probably, from the Monkey Show podcast, have looked through Google images of my gym partner as a monkey on many occasions. So
Yes.
you might have seen this, you might have not. But I found an image of Adam Lyon directly facing the camera. Not side view or anything. Like, it's direct facing, and I don't like it.
It looks like piercing.
It reminds me a lot of.
Was that?
I really don't like it.
It's unnatural.
If you don't
I'm
like
scary.
that, you wouldn't want to see the edit I made where I just made a huge crater in his.
Oh, that's right. Renee, do you have that on
question.
standby? I'd really love to see it.
Oh,
there was an
God.
there was an
That I need
episode.
answered.
Oh, okay.
Why does Adam Lyon have 3 freckles on one cheek and 1 freckle on the other?
Asymmetry makes a good design.
Yeah.
It's all a part of the design, you know.
Adam Lyon is literally just all warm colors. There's nothing good.
Well, it's a very warm show. It's in a lot of ways.
There's no contrast. Oh, I found art of you guys. I found it when I was looking through My Gym Partner's a Monkey on fucking Google Images. I found fan art of you.
Yeah,
You're
we have a very surprising, and it really took us off guard how many people caught on to our podcast and started watching pretty frequently. We get like a lot of, I don't mean to say this to be like braggy, but we just get like a lot of fan art of like either our sonas or like people drawing their own My Gym Partners and Monkey sonas, or just people drawing the stupid shit we say on our show. It's crazy.
Yeah, Principal Pixie Frog Wonder Bread.
Like twice already, like twice now.
People really like that one. Also, this picture of Adam Lyon, I forgot what movie this is, but I was talking about it with some friends last night. Y'all might know Grim, and Felix.
Oh yeah, I know.
But I forgot what movie, but this picture of Adam Lyon reminds me of this.
This goblin person.
Oh, that alien.
That's like Mike and Me or something.
Yeah, it's an alien for fucking Mike and me. It's so scary.
Everyone
it
do the
scared me
McDonald's
so
dance.
I think it might be 1, the eyes, and 2, the ears.
When you see it
Holy
move,
melon.
Because Adam Lyon, you're only supposed to see one of his ears, and if you see both of them at the same time, something bad's gonna happen.
You gotta run.
You're about to die.
Well, funny you mentioned that because we had our most recent episode that is coming up pretty soon. There was a surprise. It was like we're starting season 3 now, and it's like I think the 2nd or 3rd episode of season 3. And for some reason, there was just a gratuitous amount of front-facing characters. I don't know if you remember Mr. Hornbill. He was kind of like the home teacher. He's like a rhino, and when he's also a pervert, and I hate him.
Yeah, awful.
Sophia. But there's just a really disgusting front-facing shot of him that like I keep thinking about, and it's really bothering me.
It's like it took
thank you.
It's like it took 3 weeks or like 3 seasons for them to be like, all right, I think we're like prepared to try and draw these characters in a different way, and then they do. It's a mistake.
I think this comes as no surprise to any of y'all, but there's a lot of horny art in Nurse Gazelle, I gotta say.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that doesn't
Yeah,
surprise
it's a
me.
cartoon character that is a female that is also a animal.
But
Am I
one
surprised?
thing-
Looks
Wait,
to camera.
wait.
No.
It's cool, actually. I'm looking at screenshots of her. They didn't draw her with any eyelashes. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's
Wait.
some surprisingly good designs sometimes.
Because, like, okay, so that sounds like nothing, but when it's really frustrating for me whenever I'm like, okay, there's an animal who is a female character, and then they're like, oh, gotta put eyelashes on it.
Yeah. It's like I feel like I've seen that happen with like so many different things. Like, did they do it to like a ah!
That is a human Mr. Hornbill. That's what that is.
So I didn't mean to interrupt, but this kept appearing.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
Well, why is there a human Mr. Hornbill?
There's a human
So-
episode,
so
isn't there?
Let Renee explain. Renee's got
there,
most
like,
of
a
the
parallel
show on
episode?
lockdown.
Yeah, there was an episode where Adam, for a day, went back to a human school, like as a part of a foreign exchange student program, but it was only for 1 week, and there just happened to be a human Mr. Hornbill, like that was the only like one that was. No, there was also a Mrs. Tusk human.
Why is
who I do
why
not
is there
have.
like 3,000 versions of Miss Tusk? Because we found out in the latest episode we watched, there's like a fish version of Mrs. Tusk, who's the lunch lady elephant.
It's horrible.
There's so many of her. But I'd really love it if Gert would talk about our gender fluid Jake Spider Monkey theory.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Well, of
yeah,
course,
I saw many a picture of him looking very nice in dresses.
I don't
Yes.
think I've seen those.
You have. Jake is very open with how they dress.
Oh, I thought we were talking about stuff that people have drawn.
No, like actually the show. Like
Oh yeah, yeah, it
Like,
does.
canon content. And
So yeah.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Jake Spider Monkey.
Jake Spider Monkey is gender fluid, gender neutral. Expresses themselves in many different ways. You could see it. It's so clear. It's so obvious when you watch the show that Jake Spider Monkey is just trying to find themselves. They're constantly like experimenting with their expression, their identity. They flip between like, wanting to be very masculine and wanting to be very feminine.
Jake switches even refers to himself as with her pronouns, and then refers to himself as with he pronouns. Like Jake is just all over the place, but it's really kind of I don't know. I know it's supposed to be haha, oh look, Jake's pretending to be the mom in this relationship with Adam Lyon when they were raising a baby egg together. But he really jumps into that role and gets into it and wears a dress and
he immediately goes, "I want to be mom." As soon, and that's just so it's so nice seeing a character that was intentionally meant to represent people like me, people.
Okay. That's not Jake, by the way.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
that's
even
not
Jake.
Wait, who is this?
That's
A human girl.
I forgot her
That's
name.
a human girl named Jackie.
What?
Yeah,
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wasn't that Adam's love interest best friend or some shit? Was that it? No.
No,
Okay.
this is a one-off character.
You mean Jake Spider Monkey? No, this is.
Wait.
And that's
If
another one
if
off.
that's Jackie, then yeah, who the hell is that Claire just sent? Who the actual hell is that?
I don't
That's a
think he gets a
random kid
name,
as
right?
well. Yeah, no, he's just some random kid that's when
Let's call him John.
the context for this one is pretty funny, where Adam is just questioning whether he should leave his animal school, and he's out in the human suburbs, trying to reconnect with his human heritage, and he finds this random kid that looks like Jake, and he's maybe this little sidekick type person can help me on my wacky adventures into finding humanhood again. And he just kicks him in the gut.
So,
It-
how about y'all's opinion of this Jake Spider Monkey picture I sent with him wearing a wife beater, unzipped pants?
Oh, that's his
That-
dad.
That's his actual dad.
How have I not
Actual
been
That's a
sending
spoiler. We
actual-
we can't.
I'm like,
How has
Spoiler.
these
Claire,
three
what have you
images-
done?
How have these 3 images that I've sent all managed to not be Jake Spider-Man?
I like how he has pants around his ankles, but not on him.
Well, no, that's a like even more spoilery thing.
How did I mess up to the point where I didn't even send one picture of Jake Spider Monkey?
It's astounding, really.
It's really the internet's fault if this is what they gave you.
I wanted to talk about something real quick because I wanted to talk about this to Gert and Rene, but I might as well bring it up now. Hey, so Adam had a love interest. Her name's Carrie. I feel like we haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, what happened? Where did Carrie go?
Like,
Showing up?
like she goes to the human school, and occasionally we'll have these like scenes where Adam is like waiting at the bus stop for his bus, and she's waiting at the bus stop for her bus, and they have really awkward like exchanges because he has like a very obvious crush on her, and she kind of
Well, yeah, because he's a stupid idiot.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Even to the point where the season 1 finale episode was him taking her to like a school like to his animal school dance. And I don't know if you remember, Claire, but Ingrid is the giraffe girl, and she also has a very, very, very big crush on Adam Lyon for some reason.
Well,
Which is really disappointing because she is like
She can do better.
so.
She could do so much better.
she could do better in a lot of regards. Best friends.
Yeah, she's kind of a doormat character. Like she's very apologetic, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be in the way." And it's the joke because she's like really tall and big and takes up a lot of space. But
Hi, Adam.
yeah, she does that.
God,
Okay, but like, why doesn't Ingrid and the toucan just be gay?
Well, that's the thing is Lupe's terrible.
Yeah, the thing is that Lupe's not a good character, and that's what I meant. Where she could even do better than that.
I was waiting for this conversation to bring up because I don't like Lupe. I like Hispanic characters a lot, because I'm Cuban.
Yeah.
Lupe's not very good.
No, Lupe sucks a lot.
I
She says random Spanish words for no reason.
Yeah.
As a Cuban-born
At least let her
person,
swear in Spanish once. Get away with that in children's media. That's real fast.
You
It's
really
not in
can.
English.
Here is
Yeah, you
a
really can.
good.
They just be like, it's not English. So it doesn't matter.
Wait. But what happens? What happens with Carrie? Does Carrie get killed?
She
Well,
dies.
wait. Like, I don't remember what the last time was it the student exchange episode that was last time we saw her?
I think that was it.
And that
Because,
was
like,
that was when? Like a while ago, huh?
It was like in season. Was it even? It was in season 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like maybe mid to early season 2, but we're starting season 3, and I haven't seen her since.
See, I guess season 3 is kind of going into this direction. We've mentioned this a few times about how this show kind of like evolves into something that's like fucking crazy. It's like, all right, we've done the whole school thing. Let's like meld Jake's brain with a robotic arm.
An actual episode, a real actual episode.
I still contend
so much
that
schooling.
episode was inspired by the movie that came out not long before, Spider-Man 2.
Do you think that because of Dr. Octopus, man, that they said
And then I'm just like Google image searching my gym partner's a monkey, but I found a really good image of the girl Jake Spider Monkey and then Adam Lion, but he's purple.
Oh, that I've seen that one.
What the
before.
Is this like is this a YouTube
Perfectly
thumbnail?
balanced.
It is.
Should be.
What if somebody like was a Let's Play channel, right? And they used that like Adam Lion as like
I was
their
gonna say,
Like their OC personas purple.
Well, I was gonna say.
There's
like
the moment that Adam Lion crosses his arms, you know he's miffed.
the dog agrees.
Oh no, my dog's still barking.
The dog
That was a green, bro.
dog
The dog
cast.
agrees.
Yeah,
But
so
I was gonna say,
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, what was I gonna say? You know what? Go on without me.
I think you were talking about Lupe.
I already passed that. I already said what I wanted to say, which was that it sucked.
I have a question. I have a question.
You have a question.
My question is there any like rivalry between my gym partners and monkey fans and IR Baboon fans, since those are the two monkey Cartoon Network shows?
I think if there was any rivalry, it would be with Camp Laszlo fans. Like, for sure.
That's true.
Yeah,
I forgot about Laszlo.
That was definitely more.
I remember. That's what I was going to talk about a while ago.
Now here's an important question.
Yes.
As you guys are the resident Monkey Show experts.
Yes.
Does Monkey Show ever delve into deep morality issues?
It's kind of hard to say because it tries to a few times. And
it definitely has some like controversial topics, but it doesn't ever delve into
a monkey to talk about the ethics of of the death penalty.
No, they definitely talk about that. I think
one of my favorite episodes of the show has it's an episode where Jake and Adam get detention, and Adam's pretty miffed about it, but Jake is like, no, it's fine, it's actually cool, and they sneak out halfway through it.
Yep.
They go into like the vents, and we get taken to like just a solitary like kind of AV room situation where Jake has constructed this like talk show about himself and for himself, where he is like the audience, he's like the guest, he's like the host, like, and Adam's just kind of living in it. And it's very odd, and I would say that if you wanted to understand Jake's Spider Monkey, I almost called him Gay Spider Monkey. Jake's Spider Monkey as a character, this is like a brilliant character study episode, because the thing about Jake is that he thrives on attention and a validation. And in this episode, Adam is in this like kind of, quote unquote fake, talk show world with him, and Jake, who's controlling the audience reaction, is making the audience go crazy for Adam, but like not like him. So he starts getting jealous, and he kind of goes into this craze, and it's just really, I don't know what the point of this episode was, if not to talk about the inner workings of Jake Spider Monkey's mind.
I think this episode of My Gym Partner's a Monkey may have been directed by David Lynch.
It's very possible. It's just very strange. Very strange one.
Can't believe I can relate to Jake Spider Monkey of all people. What the fuck?
That's what I tell myself every night before I go to sleep.
You say, why?
It was like 2 years ago. I went into the My Gym Partner's a Monkey tag on Tumblr and reblogged some funny posts onto my blog. And then I got an ask from my friend being like, what's with all the Gym Partners a Monkey? I'm like, there are 2 posts.
But you did go through the whole tag, so that's on you.
But now I'm thinking like, maybe that's my friend's exact reaction to your podcast with what's with all this Gym Partners a Monkey, huh?
We have gotten like comments like, why? Why are you doing this?
And I'll tell y'all, I'll tell everybody the exact reason why. I called Lucy and I said, My Gym Partner's a Monkey was a weird show, huh? What if we talked about every episode? Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be a funny joke on herself?
And then I took that, like, literally Gert called me. I remember I was just like sitting on the couch. She called me, told me this, and I was like, huh, that is pretty funny. And then like it was like my brain exploded and was like, I need to do this now. So I like went on Discord, started like talking about it with other people, started like gathering material. I was like, I'm gonna make this, like, this is gonna be real.
And I remember when like Gert mentioned this offhandedly. I begged to be on this podcast, to work on it, to do art for it.
Wait, did fucking Grey Delisle voice every female character on My Gym Partner's a Monkey?
She voiced a lot of them.
She voiced Ingrid, she voiced Lupe, she voiced Nurse Gazelle, and she voiced the Warthog lady.
Miss Warthog is amazing. She's great.
I love fishing.
She loves fishing.
So that's the genesis of the podcast, though. Gert, were you just thinking about My Gym Partner's a Monkey one day?
I thought about my gym partner as a monkey a lot because I was just like, that show was so strange because it was so perfectly neutral. Like, it was so perfectly plain and like not.
Oh, I just remembered something.
Yeah.
I remembered, I think, what might have sparked your idea for that. Gert was streaming. Were you streaming Pikmin?
Yeah, I was streaming Pikmin too.
Yeah. And
Wait.
I went in to watch, and I said, Gert, I have an image for you. And I don't even remember why I was thinking about it, but I was thinking of
Maybe
maybe we just kind of like have the same brain connection, and we were both thinking about it. And
I
it
think
was.
we just had that picture of Slips, like that transparent picture of Slips. We just had it like saved somewhere, like on our computer, and we would just send it to each other whenever, like.
Yeah, I sent it to Gert and I said, put this up on your stream, like now. Otherwise, you're a coward. And she did. She just like put it up on her screen. And then I think I just started thinking about it, about this weird show that I definitely watched like a lot of, but don't remember much of.
Cartoons like that are weird, isn't it? They have like a lot of like content and like a lot of like advertising, but they leave like almost no carbon footprint.
It's really strange when you even consider the amount of work that goes into like a single episode of a cartoon. It is art that is like the most like complex form of art, where it's a piece of like every frame is an individual drawing, and it's just like this whole hodgepodge of like work of like several people working to write, to draw, like add music, and then it's just forgotten. It's
And
just
it's like
nothing on TV.
And it's like it's not like a single episode like takes them like a couple of like they work on an episode of a cartoon. It's like usually like a year, isn't it? Like for just like one episode, they have a team working on it for like
or several months.
For like like it takes forever, and then like all of that for like a 15-minute long show, and then sometimes it'll be something that people will just be like, yeah, that was bad. That wasn't like anything.
When we started doing the show. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was just gonna say it's weird considering how like kind of nicely stylized. Like this show's got some good art sometimes. Like I like the way Jake is drawn, especially in that scene right down in the suit. He looks so excitable. It's a good drawing, but no one. It's just kind of. I'm doing like a motion with my hands. If you can.
Yeah.
Well, there's moments on the show when we first started doing the podcast. We had a very unfortunately kind of. I wouldn't recommend some of our first episodes because we were very cynical and like nitpicked a lot.
Also, we were like, Yeah,
we were it's just starting out on podcasting, and so we were very unprepared and unequipped for it. But we kind of, I guess, shifted a bit. It's instead of being like, this is like annoying, this sucks. I mean, we still say that sometimes because sometimes the jokes really, really suck.
Yeah, sometimes it sucks. You can't.
But like a lot of it is like we try and celebrate the good stuff about it, because to dismiss this show, no matter how kind of casually okay it was, like people worked on it. It's a piece of art. It's seen by a lot more people than a lot of my stuff's going to be seen by. So like I kind of have to give it props for that. And there are some good frames in here. There's some genuinely good bits of animation, and it'd be like a shame to just kind of dismiss it all because like there's a fart joke every once in a while.
I would die to have like a show on Cartoon Network that would be as like just completely okay, but like sometimes not, as my gym partner's a monkey. Like something that could just like a fart in the wind. Just, like it's there and then it's gone.
It's the dream.
Well, I want to ask a question of all of you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to know if y'all were in the My Gym Partner's a Monkey universe, what animal, or maybe, I mean, I'm the only human on the show because I took that burden on me, but I'm guessing all of you would like to be like animals. So what animal would you be?
I would be the humble gorilla, because not only does it fit my boisterous personality, but I like gorillas a lot. They're quite fun to look at and draw. So I'm gonna go with a gorilla.
Sometimes I like to draw just a very like realistic gorilla. I
Exactly.
just look at it. I like
The
to
faces
draw
are
it.
funny.
Their faces are just like they have like that like shadow thing over their
Yeah.
eyes, so they're just like, you know, like they're just like.
I want just side note, Gert sometimes when we're hanging out and we're kind of the influence in some way or the
I
other.
transform.
she turns it. She like
Becomes a
gets
gorilla.
all on all fours and like puts her fists down on the ground like a gorilla, and then starts like jumping at me. And when I'm in that state, it genuinely terrifies me. So I scream and run around.
Like I don't just do that. I don't think you're giving it like the art of it enough credit, Lucy. Because what I do is like I get on the ground. I like you know do the gorilla pose, and then I arch my back down very subtly to the perfect degree, and then I start I start making. I don't start, you know, like yelling like a fucking like ape, like a, you know, cartoon ape or whatever. I like take it serious. I start making like, you know, small gorilla sounds, like they're just breathing and like slowly like approaching Lucy. I avoid eye contact.
It's very scary.
Yeah, and like I've had several people just say like, I hate it. It's so realistic. I hate it when you turn into a gorilla, and it's just like it's one of my joys. I love being a gorilla sometimes.
I can relate. I too go ape mode sometimes, but not with that gusto. See, what I do is whenever I'm going absolutely ape, patent pending, I get up, puff chest, which is already big as it is for I'm Gert, and I take my fist and go. I can only do it once a day, but it's worth it.
That is, I like the like, you know, like the fire of that. Like it just it goes, it just goes up, you know, it goes up and it goes out. It's like really like bright. And
I need to know your animals. Look, I need to know the rest of your animals.
Oh, I just want to ask something. Have you seen the video of the gorilla that gets the raccoon and throws it across?
Bowser from Mario.
Oh no.
That's so mean, but like why did like that's such a what an asshole! It just picks up a.
Yeah, that
Can you
ape
imagine?
specifically is an asshole.
Can you imagine being an animal and then this other big animal just picks you up and tosses you? Like you're just like
real people.
Oh, if I were an animal, I'd be a skeleton.
woo!
There's a variety of animals.
We all have animals in our body. We all have animals in our body. We all have animals.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the gorilla to rip me in half. I'm a skin suit.
Like in SpongeBob.
Yeah. I think it's me, but it's a real gorilla.
Okay, who's up?
Yeah, who's up?
My gym partner is a monkey, Sona. I know I was like, oh, I'm a bear, because that's my persona, but then I put some thought into it. If I was in the My Gym Partner is a Monkey universe, I could be whatever the fuck I wanted. So, I'm gonna be a capybara.
Oh.
Hey, that's
Clara.
Hey, that's it. Have y'all ever seen that capybara video? I don't know, like
The
maybe
one
not.
in the
The capybara
hot springs with the oranges.
The one that's like a capybara video. It's like a school, like it's almost like a school presentation of a capybara, but like the person narrating is just like a voice to text generated voice of like this woman. She's like, the capybara is so peaceful and beautiful. Look at that. This capybara is just chilling out with some Crocs. Like it's just like it just shows pictures of like capybaras hanging out with different animals, and then there's a part where it's like capybara even capybaras need love too.
Even capybaras
Two.
Love two.
Yeah, the way you're saying that makes me imagine the Peggle gif.
Love
Yeah.
two. That is a capybara.
Capybara.
What about the rest of y'all?
Oh, Parker, do you want to say what we'd be?
Oh
yeah, no,
dual
yeah. Here we go.
animal.
3, 2, 1. Cat dog.
Oh.
I will be for the bird, that little dog, and the little one dingo.
Cat dog.
Got to know a free-eyed frog, got like on a dingo dog, cat dog. Ow! No!
That theme fucking slapped. Who sang that theme again?
Little fucking
I would
dog
love
in
it
the
if
dog.
Cat Dog
That's
was.
like an actual musician.
Oh.
Actual fucking like musician.
I have something else to bring up really quick, which is
Yeah.
that like Squirrel Boy, Camp Laszlo, and My Gym Partner's a Monkey all like blend together in my mind for some reason. They like all had the like they're all very different art styles, but they all have the same color scheme or something.
Y'all ever think about how
There's
like
more proof to that, which I'll explain later.
Y'all ever?
Go.
I was gonna say, y'all ever think about how like the dad from Squirrel Boy is also the dad from Rick and Morty, and it's like it's just they're the same character both in voice actor and in who they are. Rick and Morty.
I try not to think about Squirrel Boy.
Oh.
Squirrel Boy has an amazing art style. No one gives it credit.
That's because it was done by the
You all
Duckman
laugh
guy.
at the art style.
Yeah, I
It was
love
done by the
Duckman.
Duckman guy. I know
No,
that.
no, I feel you. Like I've always been saying this too. Like Squirrel Boy is not a good show by any means.
I've not watched
love
it.
the
I
art
just
behind it.
I just know it's bad.
Is it better than?
You just feel it.
Better than Scaredy Squirrel.
It's got a style to it. It's got something there.
Rene is the ultimate apologist on our show.
Yeah.
They really like to just like they're like, oh, Windsor's not that bad. Oh, Henry Armadillo's not that annoying.
It's all right though. You bring us back into reality when we're going too off the deep end, Renee. When we're going buck wild out there, just like being like this fucking game.
Game? Are we the angry video game nerd?
This fucking game. This fucking
This
game's a
fucking
bunch of
shitty
horse
poo-poo
shit.
pee-pee game. I'm gonna shove a beer bottle up my ass.
And I'm gonna
Okay,
drink
now
the
who
beer
is the
with my
irate gamer?
ass.
Well, this game's a load of fuck.
See, she's so tired, Liam. This game's
This game stinks so bad. It smells worse than the diarrhea dookie my mom took in the toilet because she's a bitch.
nice. I wanted to
God.
mention.
Nice
A,
and YouTube poop.
I wanted to mention something because it's been on my mind for years.
What is it?
Go
I have
for it.
the Wikipedia up, so now I can mention it properly.
What is it?
From May 4th, 2007 through May 28th, 2007, on Cartoon Network, in the United
Alien
States,
takeover.
in the United States, in Cartoon Network, there was a special crossover event between Foster's Home, Ed and Eddie, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, Camp Laszlo, and the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy that I
You're
remember
talking
so
about the
vividly.
alien thing.
Yes,
It's the
Cartoon Network
alien
invaded. I remember it so well.
Oh God.
And I wanted to bring it up because I've been meaning to bring it up on We Talk About Our Cartoon Boyfs podcast. I say that really fast because I can. For a while, and now is my chance. Now was my time to strike at the ribs when you are vulnerable.
I'm so
I remember
Speaking
that.
of that,
when we're
was
here.
My Gym Partner's a Monkey ever involved in Fusion Fall?
Yeah,
So-
well,
Not
It was-
almost. No.
It was only like referenced in text
Yeah.
ever. But like I believe that there was like a Fusion Fall like fan recreation that wanted to include Adam Jake from My Gym Partner's a Monkey.
That's just a
there's,
real ass
like,
monkey, huh?
I think
And
we
it-
have. Don't we have that somewhere? That like fan recreation of it,
I'm
the
looking
drawing.
Fusion Fall is
we'd
the
have
only
to
good
look it up,
Unity
but
game.
like that.
Well, is it Fusion Fall? Is Fusion Fall Legacy? Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
fake, right? It's not like a real thing.
No, it's a real thing, all right. But like it's just slow going because game development.
Because
This isn't that bad.
I found art in the style, and it's from the wiki. So I don't know if it's like fan art or if it was like.
It's like the fan like
fucking.
it's the fan revival of the game because Cartoon Network closed the servers down and all, and like people were like, "Hey, Fusion Fall was a good game. Let's bring it back. But let's bring it back with anime Adam and Jake." And here they are.
I found a Fusion Fall Mocho Chocho, I think, and what?
Why did
I'm
look at
actually
Dragon
I'm
Ball
all for this design. He looks like
He looks like a Dragon Ball Super character.
It
Yeah,
looks
I was
like,
gonna say.
that looks like a person.
He's
looks
part
like
of the Galactic Patrol.
Yeah, he
Goku.
looks like one of them that would be
Dragon Ball
knocked
Line.
off in the Tournament of Power and like.
He's like one of the one-off episode ones. He has a
So,
stupid power and he
I'm
gets
just
punched off by
imagining-
118.
You're some
I'm
sort
just
of
imagining
monkey.
this Mojo Jojo
Monkey.
with like human color skin, wearing normal clothes, and I'm like, I've bagged this man's groceries before. Like this man at my local grocery store that I work at.
This guy could also be a racer in the movie Red Line.
I got that one.
But well, what about Cartoon Network Invaded? Because
Okay,
let me tell you,
so-
I'd love to talk about
Wait,
it.
wait. Did we all like say our anime?
I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, good. I just didn't know.
So I remember these episodes very well because the commercials terrified me as a child. Like I was very, very scared. But I remember one scene in My Gym Partners a Monkey. I don't know if you guys are at that episode.
No, we haven't gotten to it yet, but and I was wondering if we could do anything special for it, but it's definitely something I'm ready to gear up towards.
It's just a small throwaway gag.
Yes,
want-
yeah.
But
Go ahead.
when they're talking about a list of alien rumors going around in that episode, I remember them taking out a newspaper and it had the ads from the episode before
Yeah.
on the
Yep.
newspaper. I remember that very vividly. I don't know why I remember this, and I haven't thought about that specific scene until now. But hey,
No, I
Cool
think
that
about
Etta
that
and Eddie.
sequence too, and I think about how interesting it is. This interconnected crossover series of 5 episodes of 5 different shows or whatever. It's
yeah.
I
They all
remember
have
the
a weird-
aliens. I remember the aliens having kind of an interesting design. Like they weren't just grays or whatever. They were weird they were those things from Jimmy Neutron almost. I'll have to
Yeah.
find them.
I'm trying to find a commercial for it.
Why does Jake look like this in Fusion Fall?
Dog,
it's very
dog.
Real dog, real dog, real dog, real dog.
Real dog.
Real dog.
Parker today, as a really sick and mean joke, convinced me the creator of Jimmy Neutron died. I don't know why he thought that was funny.
Wait,
It was
Jimmy
upsetting.
Neutron?
Yeah, Parker convinced me the Jimmy Neutron creator died, but it turns out no, he didn't. His job is he looks through telescopes now. Yes.
I thought you said it was because I thought you said Jimmy Neutron died. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's what I heard too.
Y'all got Jimmy Neutron trending. I was gonna have a fit for a moment.
Oh no!
you see the launch of Planet Sheen, the rocket that Sheen left on, actually caused a seismic wave that killed everything in a 50-foot radius.
Yeah, when that show took off Jimmy Neutron, that whole world got decimated.
That's
It was
impressive
left
that Sheen's
behind.
writing to his grandma the entire series of Planet Sheen, and he's gonna come back, and they're all gonna be dead.
Because we don't need these characters.
planet.
Ultra Lord!
Sheen, your job was good here. You've destroyed Earth like you promised me all those years ago.
Why does
I receive my immortality now.
Oh my god! You
Why
can't do
does
this to
Sheen
me.
not have?
Sheen is also bad Hispanic
eyelids?
representation.
Yeah, but he doesn't have eyelids.
No Hispanics have eyelids, bro. Look at me. I don't
Oh
blink.
yeah, me too.
I
me
I look
can't
at you.
not look at you. You keep staring at me.
Don't you remember the famous George Lopez quote? I don't have any eyelids, man. I can't blink.
Wait,
That was his catchphrase. They'd be like, "Oh no, the dog show's tomorrow. What are we gonna do, George?" It's like, "I can't blink. I got no eyelids." That's him. The funny Spanish man.
wait.
I remember.
Ugh.
No, the George Lopez funny quote that my mom, who's Hispanic, would use on me
Mhm.
is the "Why are you crying?" line, which would be repeated very frequently to me.
Alright, that's a funny one.
She'd go, "Why are you crying?"
Are you crying?
Are you
I was
crying?
like,
I don't
There's
know
this-
if this is a real George Lopez quote, but my friends and I always quote it as if it was a quote from him. But every once in a while I go "Oh, don't get me started." I don't know if that's a catchphrase, but I feel like
I
that
mean,
would be a
it sounds like a
catchphrase.
George Lopez.
Exactly,
catchphrase.
right? You think it'd be like,
God,
"Oh,
don't
don't get me
My
started."
cartoon
Ay, ay,
boyfriend
ay.
is George Lopez.
George Lopez.
not real.
show- That's the kind of show you see when you're dying of a cold and
Yeah, then he calls me from TV. He goes, "Hey Ben, I hear you're pretty sick. What's up, man?
Pass
Let me
the fuck
fill you
out,
up."
and then
You have like a
I
I mean, no,
stomach
'cause, like,
virus.
what happens is,
Yeah.
like, you spent the day sick from school, and you were sleeping the majority of the day because you were sick, and you woke up, and then you hear.
And I don't know what
Exactly.
time it is.
And then you weakly open your timidly and weakly open your eyes and you see George Lopez and his funny family jumping on the trampoline.
His funny
and you're
family.
like, oh.
Y'all
I
ever
think
think about just how,
Hilarious.
I just think about like how strange Nick at Night, like Adult Swim kind of makes sense, like whatever, but like
Oh yeah,
Nick
for
at
sure.
Night,
Yeah.
Nick at Night is like a fever dream because it's like here's some old like
Well,
fucking
okay, here's the thing.
sitcoms.
Wait,
I don't know. For me, the first show that would air on Nick at Night, and I was still awake and watching cartoons and eating dinner, it was always Full House, which I never really saw an episode of because I didn't care, but I liked the opening. Like,
Yeah, me too.
Whatever happened.
but then on over on
Evening
Cartoon
TV.
Network, evening TV, but on Cartoon Network,
Violence and
the
movies.
first show that would air when they would do the switchover would be King of the Hill.
Oh yeah.
Hey, y'all know that
Bobby.
switchover happens at like 7 o'clock now.
Yeah, like it's so early.
Wait.
It used to be 8, but now it's 7.
Wait, was George Lopez the voice of Glenn Martin DDS?
I
What?
wouldn't know.
No,
What?
I'm
Let's
definitely
watch that
sure
show.
he wasn't. And
What are you
also,
talking about?
Rene would
don't
know.
get me started on Glenn Martin DDS show.
Oh,
Do you not like the dog?
don't get me started.
Exactly, don't get me
Looks at the screen, winks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
his
like
butthole got,
every
like-
time you saw a commercial for it, it was just like the dog's butthole, ah! and then they show it's like big puckered ass, and it's like, okay.
Wait,
It's
Renee,
terrible.
Renee, why is the show so bad?
It's so terrible. It's just like every it's you would think like, oh, it's got to be something because it's a stop motion show, right? There's like something to the artistry there. But no, the promise of stop motion lies to you, and it's a vulgar, awful, evil show that shows
It's
you the
not Glenn
dog's
Howerton,
butthole.
it's Glenn Martin.
Did I say
Yeah,
Glenn Howerton?
Glenn Howerton is the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, God damn it.
Dennis.
Wait,
You're
is
going
that
to
the guy who
jail.
plays as Dennis?
Yes.
But no,
Okay.
Glenn Martin DDS. It's just I've had traumatic memories of that, where I would be up at like late at night,
Glenn
and then I
Fartin
saw Glenn
DDS.
Martin DDS, and I was like, oh, this is like a cartoon or something. I'll watch this as a kid. And then the kid with the fro would crawl into an elephant's butthole, and I would have to contend with that at the ripe young age of middle school, and I hated that. And I hate Glenn Martin DDS for that, and I wish it never existed.
Hey,
Y'all
have you
remember
ever
the
played Glenn Martin
PJs?
DDR?
DDR? That's
Glenn Martin DDR?
Glenn Martin
All I know
DDR.
about Glenn Martin
Glenn Martin.
DDS, all I know about Glenn Martin fucking DDS is the butthole.
And the fact that it's
Oh,
fucking
you need to
funny. Oh.
I mean,
It's
that's kind of
funny.
not to, I mean, let's complete the full circle here. That's kind of the point of My Gym Partners and Monkeys. You look at Jake Spider Monkey's butt and you go, "That's a funny monkey butt," and then
But
you laugh.
Yeah, not the butthole though.
I gotta
mean,
say,
Here's the thing. With Jake Spider Monkey, it was just the ass cheeks, and there's nothing
Yeah.
offensive about the ass cheeks.
Well, I don't know. You
However,
haven't seen his ass cheeks.
No, I have seen his ass cheeks.
Listen.
there's an episode where his ass cheeks swelled up real big and they made a brain bounce away. So
Remember
Well, that's
when
his
his
problem.
when he was hanging, like he was like flying through the air. I think it was in that episode, and his butt cheeks were like flapping, so beautifully animated. And we attributed it to, of course, James Baxter came on the
Yeah.
show, and I mean those butt cheeks just flapping.
So, guys, again, whenever we're talking about something, I tend to look through either the Tumblr tag or Google Images for it, just because it gives me something for my brain to do and allows me to like go in, zone in, and zone out, because sometimes that just happens. So, here's an image that I found while looking up Glenn Martin DDS.
No.
What?
What
May
the?
some-
The,
May someone please describe the image for our listeners?
Allow me.
I'll
So
describe
it's
it. So it's a
Oh.
picture of Glenn Martin, from Glenn Martin DDS, standing in his like very much like a stock image like they use for promo and stuff. And he's on a white background, and the text to the left of him says, Popey the performer is hella gay. Hella is in fire text, and gay is in very super fire text. And then on the bottom of it, in normal Arial font, says watch Glenn Martin DDS on Nick and Night on Friday nights at 10:30 p.m.
this image is something that like is making me feel so strange.
That
I feel
shouldn't
so
cross.
I feel uncomfortable. I feel like a little too warm.
like it's
Like you know when you're like it's like not hot, but it's like a little too warm. I don't like
It's
that
like
feeling.
when the air conditioning is like off for the night and you can't sleep.
like I would be like, okay, like if it said like Glenn Martin is hella gay, but it's Popey the performer, which is that's like that series, right?
That
Yeah.
Japanese 3D animated.
Which
yeah,
I actually like. I kind of like Popey the
Oh, it's
Performer.
wonderful.
I do
I love
too.
it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Pretty neat.
I really like it. I've only seen like one episode of it, but I like the dog wearing the mask.
Oh, that's everyone's favorite character. Everyone
Because
loves him.
Yeah.
I like
It's
Mr.
great.
Sun.
Yeah, me too.
But
Poppy,
then you
Poppy's great.
But then you just have the sentence, you just have these two separate entities of the sentence Poppy the Performer is hella gay, and then you have Glenn Martin, and then you combine it into one image.
I feel like this image is like maybe sort of like you guys heard of the concept of the back rooms?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
like,
talking about the? Yeah, this is the stock white rooms, the white voids.
yeah, like
This is,
this
like, near the
image
back
came
end
from
of it.
that
This is, like-
space.
I'm
This is
focusing
like-
a lot on the white voids in Banana Hill.
This image of what you
Ooh.
see before you is what you see when you're about 3/4 of the way through your journey through the back rooms.
The back rooms of hell.
Yeah.
I'm like,
This is like
See-
what you see when you're like almost done, but not quite.
Yeah.
oopsie.
See, for me, this image just seems like it's gained its own sapience and is trying to piss me off. Like it's accessing my memories and trying to find a way to piss me off,
It
but it's not
does.
doing it exactly correct.
It
But,
does.
And like, and here's the thing, Glenn Martin is not that orange in the show, but he's tinted very orange in this image.
It feels like it does kind of feel like that this image came out of the ether just to like try and get you, Rene. Like
I
just to
think this
try and
image can give
destroy
off
you.
heat. I think it can give off heat if it wanted to.
I think
Oh.
so too. It has like a radioactive decay.
Yeah.
It's like this is the elephant's foot.
You get a fucking Geiger counter at this image, and then it just fucking breaks.
Wow.
So with the analysis of this image, which I really hope that Harrison edits at the proper timestamp, not just in the beginning like you do, but at the proper
did-
timestamp so that our viewers can see it as we see it.
God, I hope.
Hey, that's Parker's job. That's not up to me.
I
Okay,
do
Parker, you
the
better not
edit.
Fuck this up.
It's too hard.
It's too hard.
I got an idea. You can put it at the beginning, or put a time counter. Say like at the 60-minute mark, this image will appear.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
like a timer the whole
That would
time.
be funny, actually.
Or what if it doesn't even like say like what it is?
Oh,
There's
this
just
is
a
the-
timer.
the whole
This
whole
is at
video.
6:27.
The whole video leading up to it could be a countdown.
And like 30 minutes until it appears.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's what we're gonna have to do now.
Okay.
I
so
can edit
with,
this one if you want me to.
With that plan solidified,
If you want
I
to,
think
Ben.
it's time for us to call this episode of We Talk About Our Funny Monkey Show closed.
Yeah. Would you?
You think
Would
you
you?
can
Would
do
you?
that?
Would
It can't be dead.
Would
Now
you?
now it's closed.
Would you, wonderful funny guest, have anything you would like to plug or say at the end? here?
Yes.
Oh
Just
yeah.
Any
I'm
any
very-
few
I'm-
Final
words.
statement.
I'm very into my brand
Mexican.
and my Twitter, and I want to have a lot of followers, as most
follow
people
you.
do. Oh, thank you. Well,
You
I
have the King
you can-
DDD
yeah,
icon.
you
and
can
I know
find me. I'm at King DDD. Yes, actually just King DDD from Kirby because
Damn.
he is my light and my soul. He has done so much for me and for you, and I just would like to spread that warmth to everyone. I talk a lot about Kirby, Nintendo, and Dragon Ball, so if that's what you're into, come at me. Also follow for our podcast Twitter too at MGPA Podcast. Send us a message. We talk about our comments a lot, and if you comment on our YouTube videos, you're pretty much guaranteed to get mentioned in the next video.
I will comment and I will say something stupid, and you will have to repeat it.
Of course.
Oh,
I mean, we've done a lot of those. Not to like hurt anybody.
You're hurting me. You are hurting me violently.
So I have like a simple Twitter at Pink Stupid Gator. There's two in there. I'm not doing much. I'm working on My Gym Partners a podcast as well. I do some like drawings there, but I'm planning on a little project. It's my own little like Spider-Man parody I call Bug Dude. I wanna try to at least get some attention out there. My darling baby boy creature Bug Dude. Expect that at some point.
I kind of got one of those too. So you can find my Twitter. It's at Gertgeist. It's GERTGEIST. And I also have an art Twitter. That's just like you can find that in the description or whatever. It's art - Gert, I guess. And what else to say? I do commissions, or at least I want to. Haven't got that many.
I commissioned you.
I know that few.
Yeah, Lucy commissions me.
Wink.
Wink.
Oh, my tinnitus is acting up again.
But
no, not tinnitus. TMJ. What the fuck?
Tinnitus. It's pretty bad.
There's that. Also, if you haven't already, please watch Donkey Kong Lost Episode.
Oh yeah, we were part of that. I play Candy Kong.
Okay.
Darling work, exactly.
I play Cranky Kong and King K. Rool.
I'm Candy.
Before we end that episode, me and my friend Georgia quote that episode. Specifically, let me tell you the part that we quote. Hey, Cranky, I'm gay. About being gay.
Donkey Kong.
I've been married for 40 years. My wife.
Yeah, you helped with that video.
And all that time.
Yeah, all of us were voice actors.
I love that video.
I was
I was no Donkey Kong. I like girls.
Oh well, I was Donkey Kong, and I was at the very end Diddy Kong.
Hey, what's all this about being gay?
If you ever do another episode, could I voice Diddy or Yoshi from Super Mario World Super Show?
If you ever
Oh,
do,
yes.
if you guys
But
ever do another
I'm
one
a
of those,
professional
I
voice actor.
sincerely
I would love
want
to
to
do
do
it.
a voice.
But it depends on how. I think Grimm has talked about wanting to do another one, so we'll have to.
Can
We're
I
like,
be that? Can I be that fucking whomever her name is, the one with pigtails?
Dicks.
Yeah, we-
Wait, Trixie Kong.
Trixie Kong.
Jason
Uh,
Sudeikis.
Thank you so much for having us today. It was
Yeah,
so
thanks.
much fun.
Yes.
We have
Yeah,
we have
no
more
problem.
friends now.
Yay!
This podcast is we are now sister podcasts.
I
Yay.
was looking forward to, like, Lucy told me that we were gonna, be doing a collab with folks, and it's really nice getting to know new people.
Literally, we're all
This will be the first of freaking many.
What's
Yeah.
cool is that this whole thing works is because we all like weird obscure media, and we're all gay.
Yes.
And that's the basis for
don't
any
get me
good
started.
podcast.
Don't get me started.
That's my catchphrase now. Fuck you, George Lopez. I'm.
Oh, don't get me started.
Oh, don't get me started.
Well, you know what? We're not going to get you started. We're going to get you ended because the podcast is over.
The podcast
Yeah, you're
is
gonna
over.
be-
Podcast is over. Bye, everybody. Say bye to the face.
Wait,
Bye.
thank
Good
you
night.
for coming. We have a podcast, new PO box and Minecraft server. I'll put that in the video. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Yeah, okay, yes. Okay, bye. Love you
Minecraft
all.
server.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Oh, it's terrible.
This is Parker with a post message saying check out Squirrel Boy Sundays on Cartoon Network.